Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to OS e-learning platform brought to you by Opero Stephen. Okay, let's go direct to the topic of discussion. And this is the Uganda Certificate of Education UCE Mathematics. The paper code is 456/1. We do not have a /2 because the old curriculum mathematics was harmonized into a single paper, and that is 4561. Now, the new lower secondary school competency-based curriculum, as per the Uganda National Curriculum Development Center, the experts sat down and came up with a structure. And this structure, also called the element of construct, gives the following guideline. Mathematics paper 4561 is actually made up of two sections, that's section A and B. And the total number of items is 6, and these items are scenario based in the entire paper. So the item taker should actually give responses to only 4 items. And then, without forgetting that this paper is scored out of 80. The section A is also scored out of 40, then section B out of 40. Section A, we should not forget that it's a compulsory section that has 2 items that are actually compulsory. And then section B has 2 parts. These 2 parts, each part has 2 items. Meaning in section B we have 4 items. 4 items. And these 4 items, the learner must attempt only 1 item from each section. Meaning in total, the learner must have only 2 items from this. And without forgetting that each item is scored out of 20, meaning section B still has 40. The duration is strictly 2 hours without any adjustment. So a learner or the item taker by senior 4, the item taker must be in position to sit and attempt the 4 items within a duration of 2 hours. Well, thank you. Let's move to the next slide. Thank you so much. Let's now slide to the next chapter, and that is element of construct. This will talk about the item, the area of construct, or the theme, and the topics covered. Now, item number 1 contains a scenario coming from the theme called numbers. And now to form the theme numbers, we use the 4 topics. That is number basis taught in senior 1, working with integers covered in senior 1, fractions, percentages and decimals senior 1, numerical concept 1 and 2 covered in senior 2, and then ratios and proportions senior 3. Then the second item, that is item 2, and that will talk about patterns and algebra, and this will contain the following topics: the sequences and patterns, equations. Actually, sequences and patterns are taught in senior, some part of it senior 1 and some part of it senior 2, but typically senior 1, sequences and patterns, the number machine and all that. The equations of line and curves, that is senior 2. Algebra 1 and 2 senior 2. Mapping and relations senior 2. Inequalities and regions, we start this topic in senior 2. And equations of a straight line senior 2. Rectangular Cartesian plane senior 1. Simultaneous equations senior 3. Linear programming senior 3. And then the loci or the locus senior 3. However, even senior 4. So this is section A, that is compulsory, and the item taker must attempt these 2 items. So by senior 3, you must have all this information. You must be in position to interpret all scenarios that are coming from these 2 themes that is made up of these topics. That is by senior 3. All right, thank you. Let's move to the next slide. All right, and this slide, we are still continuing with the element of construct, and in particular, that is section B. We agreed section B has 2 parts, part 1 and part 2, of which each part has 2 scenario-based items, meaning section B has 4 scenario-based items. And the item taker must actually take or give responses to only 2 items, picking one from each part. Item 1 and item 3 and 4, these 2 items are actually generated from a theme called data and probability. Now, to come up with this theme, we talk about the following topics. 1, data collection and presentation, that is taught in senior 3. Graphs, taught in senior 2, second term. Yes. Set theory, part of it is senior 2, and then we harmonize it in senior 3. Data collection and display, senior 3. However, we start this data collection and display in senior 1. Senior 1. Matrices, typically senior 3. Probability, senior 3, yes, senior 3. Then part 2, we shall have the 2 items, that is item 5 and item 6, that are coming from the theme geometry and measures. Now, to come up with this theme, we have a combination of the following topics. Geometric construction, we teach this in senior 1. Bearings, senior 1. General and angle properties of geometric figures, that is senior 1. Reflection, senior 2. Business arithmetic, some part of it is in senior 1. Times and timetable, strictly senior 1. Similarities and enlargement, senior 2. Circles, senior 4. Rotation, some part of it is senior 2. And then we emphasize on this in senior 4. Then let's move to the next slide. That is part of the section B. Actually, it's part of the topics that are to be covered under part 1 to make the theme geometry and measures complete. Thank you. Well, this is a continuation. It is a continuation of the topics that are to be covered to form a theme called geometry and measures. The continuation of the topics, we have length and area properties of 2-dimensional geometrical figures, senior 4. Nets, area and volume of solids, senior 4. Trigonometry 1 and 2, senior 3. Vectors, we start this in senior 2, and by senior 4 you must have done the whole of vectors. Business mathematics, typically senior 3, then wind up with senior 4. Matrix transformation, senior 3. Circle properties, senior 3. Lines and planes, 3 dimensions, that is senior 4. Now we can see that by senior 3 third term, actually the item taker must be in position to actually give responses to a variety of scenarios coming from these uh, four themes. The four themes are numbers, pattern and algebra, data and probability, then geometry and measures. So we anticipate that by the end of term 3, on a good speed, the facilitator or the teacher must be done with these topics. This slide will bring us to the end of the discussion. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Opero Stephen is my name. My contacts are below. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel for more presentations. Thank you for watching.